Hello students, how are you? I think all of you are well at your home. Today I shall take a lecture on inflammation of the joints and soft tissue tumor. First of all, inflammation of the joints. Inflammation of the joints is called arthritis. You may be asked in your written or viva examination, make a differential diagnosis of arthritis. These are: number one, a rheumatoid arthritis, a rheumatic fever, then psoriatic arthritis, traumatic arthritis, gonococcal arthritis, pyogenic arthritis, then a reactive arthritis, and tuberculous arthritis, and so on. In these cases, how will you diagnose? You must put history in favor of your diagnosis and against of your diagnosis. Now, first of all, rheumatoid arthritis. In rheumatoid arthritis, men or women of any age can be affected with this rheumatoid arthritis. If it occurs in early age, call it juvenile arthritis. But in this case, you will find peripheral small joints are involved first, and this involvement is usually bilateral and symmetrical. Sometimes the larger joints can be involved first. Say for example, knee joints or hip joints or elbow joints or wrist joints. But usually the usual phenomena is peripheral small joints are involved first, and this involvement is bilateral and symmetrical. Here the females are more prone of arthritis than the males. Now, how will you diagnose this case in the laboratory? In the laboratory, you will do only a single test, that is the rheumatoid factor. So, if the rheumatoid factor is positive, we call it seropositive arthritis. But rheumatoid arthritis can be seronegative. So, there is no definite diagnostic criteria in laboratory for diagnosis of rheumatoid arthritis. Clinical history and clinical examination is the main for diagnosis of rheumatoid arthritis. Now, rheumatic fever. In rheumatic fever, it is the larger joints are involved, and this joint involvement is migratory polyarthritis, like the elbow joints, the wrist joints. One joint is involved and it is cured, and then another joint is involved. Now, how will you diagnose rheumatic fever? For diagnosis, you must know the major criteria, which is called major Jones criteria, and there are minor criteria. Two major criteria, if you find two major criteria, this is diagnostic of rheumatic fever. Or a major criteria and two minor criteria, again diagnostic of rheumatic fever. Now, what are those major criteria? The major criteria are migrating polyarthritis, pancreatitis, erythema marginatum, rheumatic nodules, and sydenestoria. The minor criteria are sore throat or history of sore throat, fever, arthralgia, raised ESR, increased C-reactive protein, leukocytosis, and raised ESR. So these are the minor criteria. Two minor and one major is diagnostic, or two major is diagnostic. So this is a rheumatic fever. Now, tuberculous arthritis. Tuberculous arthritis, pyogenic arthritis, gonococcal arthritis, and psoriatic arthritis, and traumatic arthritis, these are usually monoarticular arthritis. Tuberculous arthritis, it is secondary. That is, if there is primary tuberculosis elsewhere, say for example, if it is in the pulmonary tissue or in the ileocecal region or in the fascial region, then secondarily the joint can be involved. That is called tuberculous arthritis. And usually any joints can be involved in tuberculous arthritis. Usual involvement is the vertebral joints. Now, in this case, for diagnosis of tuberculous arthritis, you will find all the features of tuberculosis, like long continued fever, and it is low grade, then gradual loss of body weight, anorexia, and in laboratory investigation, you will find pathological lesions in the lung field or in the ileocecal region and raised ESR. So this is tuberculous arthritis. Now there may be reactive arthritis. In reactive arthritis, the involvement may be more than one joints. And say for example in bacillary dysentery, if it is caused by the bacillary dysentery is caused by Shigella, and if there is severe shigellosis, even after recovery of this shigellosis, there may be involvement of the joint. This is called a reactive arthritis. Now, psoriatic arthritis. Psoriasis is a disease of skin of unknown etiology, and in this disease there will be involvement of the joint. This is called psoriatic arthritis, and there is no clear-cut diagnosis, laboratory diagnosis of this psoriatic arthritis. If you find changes in the skin, and if you do biopsy, and you will find histological changes in the skin biopsy tissue. So this is few points about arthritis. Now, soft tissue tumor. Now, what is soft tissue? The tissue in between skin and bone is called soft tissue. Now, what are those soft tissues? These soft tissues may be fat, may be muscle tissue, or maybe blood vessel, maybe fibrous tissue, maybe joint tissue, and so on. Now, what are the tumors of the soft tissue? Now, fat. If benign tumor of fatty tissue, it is called lipoma, and malignant tumor is liposarcoma. And the fibrous tissue. Benign tumor of fibrous tissue is called fibroma, or there will be multiple fibromatosis. And if it is malignant, it is fibrosarcoma. Then fibrohistiocytic tumor. If it is benign fibrous histiocytoma, and if it is malignant fibrous histiocytoma. Then disease of the blood vessel, hemangioma, hemangioendothelioma, hemangiopericytoma, and lymphangioma, lymphangiosarcoma, and angiosarcoma. These are the tumors of the blood vessel, benign and malignant. Now, tumors joint tissue, synovial cell, then it is synovioma, if it is benign, or if it is malignant, synovial cell sarcoma. Now, tumors of the skeletal muscle, if it is benign, rhabdomyoma, and if it is malignant, rhabdomyosarcoma. Then tumors of the smooth muscle is leiomyoma, and if it is malignant, leiomyosarcoma. Among those, I need to discuss few points about rhabdomyosarcoma. Rhabdomyosarcoma is a common tumor of infancy as well as in adult life. There are varieties of histological types of rhabdomyosarcoma, and these are infantile type, fetal type, Boutroid type, rhabdomyosarcoma. Infantile and fetal type rhabdomyosarcoma occurs in early childhood, and it is a common tumor. All these sarcomas metastasize through hematogenous fluid. So, this is all for today's lecture. Thank you all. Thanks.